Let's bring in Reid Brody now, human rights lawyer and a board member at Democracy for the Arab World Now. That is one of the groups that's filed a complaint about bin Salman's visit today. Thanks for joining us on France 24. Tell us, first of all, about this legal complaint. What is it that you're hoping to accomplish?
Well, this is a complaint alleging that the Crown Prince was responsible for the torture and the enforced disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. We filed this case this morning before a judge in Paris. France has what's known as universal jurisdiction, meaning that it is competent to prosecute international crimes, even when those crimes were not committed in France. And so we're asking the French authorities to open a criminal investigation about this dastardly and horrible murder.
Now, despite warnings from human rights groups like your own, we have seen Saudi Arabia being welcomed back into the international community, certainly over the last year or so.
Well, that's very unfortunate. This is a man who, according to the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Executions, according to U.S. intelligence services, was responsible. They concluded that officers acting under his orders lured this journalist, this crusading journalist, Jamal Khashoggi, whose organization actually I represent, an organization he founded just before his death, that they lured him to the embassy and they cut him up with a bone saw. And so there is a case to answer at the very least. France has been in the forefront of fighting for these international conventions on torture and disappearances. What do those conventions say? Those conventions say that when somebody is accused of those crimes is on your territory, you have to either investigate that person or extradite him to a country that will. And this is the first time that the prince has come to a, yesterday in Greece, but today in France, a democratic country with an independent judiciary. And we think that France should investigate this case. It has an independent judiciary.
Now, Macron's office and a few weeks ago, the White House, they have said that the French and U.S. presidents aren't shying away from the issue of human rights during these bilateral meetings. Concretely, what more should they be doing? How do you think they should be balancing those concerns with what is a very real energy crisis?
We obviously need to find energy sources. But, there's a line that has to be drawn. I mean, you cannot say, well, we want to see Vladimir Putin prosecuted. And so we're going to make up with Mohammed bin Salman and pretend that he is not an accused murderer, that he's not an accused torturer. And so I think, we have to stand by principles. France has an independent judiciary. I think it's shameful. I don't think the French people believe that we should be making up with someone like Mohammed bin Salman. I think France stands for human rights. It stands for the fight against these kinds of crimes, and I don't think it's to France's France's honor or in France's interest that it do this.
All right, Reid Brody from Democracy for the Arab World Now. Thank you so much for joining us on France 24 this afternoon.